and welcome back to Film School Rejects. I am your co-host, Skye Williamson, and joined with me is...
I'm Billy Howells.
And today we're doing Disney remakes with the recent release of Snow White's in theatres last week. We're going to go through whether or not we like the remakes, whether they were good compared to the original animations. And yeah, that's it from me. So Billy, which is your favourite one before we get into it?
My favourite is, we're going to go in release order, but just straight off, The Jungle Book. I just think that was so well done. It managed to capture the spirit of the original, but also it was its own thing, which is what I think these remakes should be doing. Yeah, I love The Jungle Book, and it looks amazing as well.
I have not seen either of the Jungle. I remember growing up as a kid. Yeah, I know. I got that reaction every time, and I don't know why. I wasn't interested. I loved Nemo. I was a die-hard
Okay.
Nemo fan, so I never ventured into Jungle Book, so I didn't watch the remake. Why would you say it's like more original than the others?
Because it was the first of its kind to kind of adopt the photorealistic animal thing, and they found a great balancing act of it feels grounded, but they've also captured the fantastical elements of the original as well. So I just think Jon Favreau did a really great job of capturing all of those things.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. My favorite is and it's gonna come as a surprise. Okay, before I say it, I have had two Alice in Wonderland themed parties. It was my 10th and my 21st. I was Alice. I've played Alice in Wonderland in a theatre production. I've been Alice for Halloween. I've reread the book back and forth, including throughout Looking Glass. No, it's not my favourite. My favourite is Beauty and the Beast. I've also seen that live and in theatre. I'm not a Tim Burton fan, and I walked into Alice in Wonderland hoping that I would change my mind. I was like, I love Alice in Wonderland, and it might be the only film of Tim Burton that I remotely like, but it's not the world that I imagined.
Yeah.
So I struggle with that. So Beauty and the Beast is wholeheartedly my favourite one. It has fantastic musical numbers that I enjoy. I can feel the romance. Like, I don't think I can feel the romance with anyone else on this list. And like, that's the core of some of these princess movies, is the romance, and I feel it. Cinderella, I don't feel anything. I go, yeah, he's just a prince. That's it. But okay. That's my opinion. Anyway, okay, so we're gonna go through order. I just mentioned the first one was obviously Alice in Wonderland. They also have Through the Looking Glass. It has who does it have? It has Anne Hathaway. It has Helen. What's her last name?
Oh, Bonham Carter, Johnny
Yes.
Depp.
So it made a gross over 1 billion. So it was a big movie. Obviously, Alice in Wonderland is a standalone. It's not. I don't know if I would say like it is a Disney remake because they do have an animation version, but
Also, they kind of changed it.
the story is like, well, everything else is fairy tales, but this is like an actual novel. So I
And
think that's
also,
slightly
this
different.
is a much older Alice as well.
Yes, yes, much older Alice, which I don't. From a literature point of view, I don't know why they've done that, but I'm not in Tim Burton's head. It's clearly dependent on the director, not me.
Alice in Wonderland is a really interesting one. I'm really nostalgic for this movie, actually. I remember I have the Blu-ray back there. It is still to this day the Blu-ray I own for Alice in Wonderland is one of the very first Blu-rays I ever bought.
The
I've
Tim
had
Burton
that.
one.
Sorry.
The Tim Burton one.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I've had it. I've had that Blu-ray for 15 years. I remember watching that movie as a kid. I rewatched it last year because last year I went through a bit of a weird Tim Burton phase, like for about a month or so, and I really like this movie. Is it flawless? Of course not, but I really respect the vision. It's weird and dark, and yeah, they could have just gone very light-hearted, but they didn't, and I really appreciate the dark element of it.
I think they could have gone darker. The
Darker.
novel, the novel is much darker.
Bear in mind, I've never seen the original and I've never read the novel.
You've not read. Okay, so I know it's not in Tim Burton's like style, but I'm more surprised that he didn't lean into some of the dark elements.
Hmm.
Like the palette. Okay, fine. You know what? And I wrote an assignment on Alice in Wonderland, and Tim Burton's. You know what? I don't mind the color palette because I don't think the original with the animation and with it all being colorful is like exactly what you'd imagine because it is like a place that's being stripped away from the
Hmm.
Queen of Red Hearts or whatever. But I don't think it went dark enough,
Wow.
and
Okay.
I don't think.
Because it got a lot of criticism for how dark it did go.
Yeah, but we also have to remember all of these are based on like most of them are fairy tales and novels, which are very dark. Like
Hmm.
Snow White might be the darkest fairy tale I've ever read,
Yeah.
and that's hand and heart. Next to Bluebird, right? And I don't know. I think they could. I also don't think. I can't remember the actress's name. What's her name?
Mia, I can never pronounce her second name.
She just doesn't embody Alice to me. And I
Hmm.
feel like that's why it feels strange throughout the movie. I
Yeah.
think maybe it is to do with her age, and I wanted a younger person. And the fact that it's younger makes it more dark than she's like a teenager.
Yeah.
Do
I
you know what I
honestly
mean?
like didn't even know until last year that Alice, like, they updated the age of Alice and also that like they made it darker. Like I didn't know any of that. So I've always just seen Alice in Wonderland as this standalone film because I've never had any attachment to any other iterations of it. This is the one that kind of kicked off this whole new phase of Disney remakes. Like if this movie didn't make $1 billion, we wouldn't have the next 10 films.
Oh, imagine that. It would have been great.
The next one, we're about to have a discussion on this one, I'm sure.
Yes, right, because okay, Billy has never watched this film until recently. He watched
Yeah,
it
literally
last
the other
week.
day.
I watched it in cinemas. Right. You know what? I can put my hand on my heart. I've never been much of a Cinderella girl. Doesn't never really been for me. Um, I hated it. And I like all the actors and actresses. It didn't feel magical. Like, right, Beauty and the Beast is like romance and literature, right? But Cinderella is all about magic, right? And tragedy. I felt none of that. I felt none of it. I was like, okay, cool. And was the stepmom and the siblings that mean? No, I don't think they were. I thought it was fine. I could have lived there. The dress. Oh my goodness. The dress scene when she's like, "Oh, don't change my like mother's dress. Like I don't want to ruin it." Like, and then the color changes. The entire dress shape changes. I'm like, well, it's not your mother's dress anymore, is it? No, is it? No. Like you could have just cut that line, really. But anyway, so you loved it?
I adored this movie. I did not expect to. I thought it would be good, but and it's funny you mentioned. Oh, it didn't capture any of the magic. I think out of any of the Disney remakes, this is the one that's captured the magic, the like Disney
But it's
magic, the
supposed to
most.
be more magical than anything else on this list. I think it
I
had
felt
magic.
that magic.
I no, but I feel like it should have been more.
I think they found a really great. I think Kenneth Branagh found a really great balance of he knew when to pull back and he knew when to lean into. I don't necessarily want to say fantasy, but kind of the more um exuberance and like really leaning into the production design and the cinematography. He knew when to do what, and I thought that balance was really really well done.
Okay, since you've rewatched some of it to the clips that I remember. I think the part that I think I really just hate the second act. I think the first act was fine. The second act threw it away from me, and that obviously when you finish the film, that's all you remember.
Hmm.
It's the scene where the prince comes out. Like, okay, so it's like when they're going around looking for the shoes, right? And then they have the line of guards, right? And then whoever's in charge, the captain, whatever, he's like, "Oh yeah, no, there's only two girls. Let's just ignore the singing voices, whatever." And then the prince comes out and steps out, and he's like, "No, let's see her." And I'm like, I I was like, okay, so like there's nothing like you made him in one of the guards for like nothing, and you're telling me none of the guards were like whispering about it, like, the future king is with us right now. Like, really? And you're telling me none of them recognize that king?
To be honest, by that point, I was so like into it.
You're
I
just so
didn't really
into it.
question any logic issue. Like I'm if a movie can get me that invested where I don't even question logic issues, it's a good movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just pleasantly surprised by it. Maybe that is a big part of. Like, I gave this 4.5 stars out of 5. Like maybe that is a big part as to why I enjoyed it so much because I just wasn't expecting to. But
Mm.
yeah, this is my
Okay,
second favorite.
maybe that is it because I was expecting so much more.
Hmm.
Right, and you had seen my 1 star on Letterboxd, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe it is
Yeah,
awful. Because I think I'm quite a nice 3 star person.
yeah. Then I said it to you after I saw the film. I was like, "What is this?"
But I will be honest, right? Costume design, beautiful. Like I know I said about the dress, right? But that's a logical fallacy that I have a problem with. The costumes, however, other than the Beauty and the Beast dress, the dancing one, best costume design throughout the entirety of any remake. Best hair, that beauty department, you did it. You clutched it in. I'm proud.
I feel like
Everything else,
even if you don't like the script, I feel like you can say from like a visual standpoint, like production design, cinematography,
yeah, but no,
costumes,
my
that like
issue is
it's
the script.
impressive. Yeah,
It's the script, and then sometimes they're saying stuff, and I know it's just the script, and I'm thinking, I don't think I can listen to this, and it gets worse every time.
mm.
And the prince he's just not the prince I
I I
envisioned.
will say my one issue with the film is that I think they could have done more with the prince's earlier scenes. I feel like they could have kind of fleshed him out a little more. That's my one issue
It
with the film.
doesn't feel romantic. Okay, and there's been so many, like, not Disney Cinderellas, but other Cinderella stories that you felt the romance. I felt like it was like a cardboard box, right, and some paper.
I feel like if you hated this one, don't watch the Amazon one with Camila Cabello. Is it?
I have seen that. Okay, you know what? At least I could cringe and feel some sort of
You
emotion.
know what? I actually liked that one as well, at least more than most did. Like
You know what? They tried something.
let me check the
They tried
letterbox
something.
rating for that one because it is low.
Oh,
What is it?
but I also think it's because people want to hate it though.
Yeah,
They
the
think that was.
letterbox rating for that Cinderella is 1.5.
But Amazon must have made bank from that film though.
That's the thing.
In my head,
It wasn't
I've
even
imagined
made at
people.
Amazon. It was made for a theatrical release by Sony, and then during COVID, it was taken to Amazon. Like that film was made for cinemas.
See, now that's ruined it because I thought if it was Amazon, it's okay. Like I can let that slide, right? Because I don't expect much. Okay, Jungle Book. Billy,
Yes.
I've not seen it. Take it away.
So yeah, I briefly discussed this at the beginning. Yeah, this really like I don't think we'd have the Lion King remake if this didn't work out as well as it did. I know this one's more of a hybrid of CG and real life because the kid who plays Mowgli is real. Um, but I also think that's impressive in and of itself that this little kid really like convincingly interacting with all these CG characters. Considering he probably, I'd have no clue if it was motion capture, if like the actors voicing them did motion capture, or if he just had sticks or what like things for eyeline to interact with. But however they did it, like it was convincing, and yeah, I think that set the stage for John Favreau going, okay, I'm going to take this to the next level for The Lion King, which we'll discuss in a bit.
I'm listening because I have no comments. Yes, Billy. Whatever you say, Billy. Mhm. I have. I'm sure you're right. I find talking animals terrifying, but you do you. I don't judge. I do very harshly. Okay,
Yes, you
next
do.
is Beauty and the Beast, which it's like the only one I think I rewatch, like a Disney remake that I rewatch. Like I rewatch Alice in Wonderland because I love the novel, right? And I go, maybe I'll like it more this time. I don't, but Beauty and the Beast from like the moment. However, right, the first song is like 15 minutes. I can recognize that, but it doesn't feel like 15 minutes. And then you have the characters, which I love the teapot. I love the mini. I love the cup. Like, oh, I love Chip so much, and oh, it's just beautiful. And Emma Watson just she was made for that character. She embodies Belle so well. I do wish like they had more. Like I say, it's the most romantic. I wish they had a bit more, like a little bit, just a smidge. And I love it so much. Gaston, hilarious, portrayed perfectly. I was thinking like he's gonna be like really arrogant, right? And I'm not gonna find it funny at all. I loved it. Beautiful. I kind of loved that they did a bit of a gay character. Loved it. Made the Gaston. I could watch him, right? Normally I can't watch him because sometimes people just don't play him well. They did him perfectly. I loved it all. It was beautiful. The dress. Oh, the dress. I want it. I want it so much. And I don't think I had that same reaction with Cinderella. I liked it all throughout. The dress was so. But this dress, like when I think Disney princess, I think Belle in that scene with the beast. Gorgeous. And I was just like in the film. I was in the film. Maybe that's how you feel about Cinderella. I was
Yeah.
inside the film of Beauty and the Beast. I felt every single part and I was like, I loved it.
The only time I've seen it was when it came out in 2017, and I hadn't seen the original. I have now, but back then I hadn't seen the original. So that this was my first exposure to Beauty and the Beast, and I do remember loving it, but like that was what 8 years ago now. So like, I have the Blu-ray. You can literally see it back there. Like I I feel like if I were to rewatch it, I wouldn't like it as much, but I do think I would like it. And I will say, this kicked off a really good trend, or at least a good streak that Disney has had of putting new original songs into their musicals. I love the song Evermore, the Beast song. I love that song. Yeah, I think they've done a really good job of like inserting original songs into their remakes.
The next film is Dumbo.
Uh,
Um, I didn't watch it for one reason. Can you guess why?
Tim Burton.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna dwell on Dumbo too much. It's not good. It might even be my least favorite of the remakes. It has elements I like. Danny DeVito was good in it. I like the third act. The third act feels like proper Tim Burton magic, but like the rest of the movie, it just wasn't entertaining. It's the first one to me that just felt first of these remakes that just felt unnecessary. I didn't really get why they did it because I don't even think Dumbo's that popular. Like I don't really hear people talk about Dumbo.
I watched it once,
I never even saw the original.
and I just remember the big ears.
Yeah.
I no, actually, right. No, I do remember. I remember my parents had to hide it. Right. This is like Snow White. Like that witch.
Pretty
Terrifying.
terrifying, to be
Haunts
fair.
haunts me. The entirety of Dumbo, the original one, the animated one. I don't know why this whole circus thing, and it really, I don't know, it really got to me, and but it got to me in sadness and scariness. Like it was like the same sadness as Fox and the Hound, right? I don't know if you've seen that. They're supposed to do a remake, and I'm waiting for it. That's not the point. I'm excited for that one. But then I was also petrified and terrified. And I feel like Dumbo in my head overlaps with Pinocchio as well, which makes no sense. But in
Maybe
the
because they're
same
both older Disney movies.
like creepy, like I felt like from it. And there's nothing maybe if I rewatched it now, I would understand what scared me, but I'm not willing to. So I didn't watch it, and then I saw Tim Burton was gonna do it as well, and I was like, "There's no way, there's no way I'm putting myself through that." No.
Well, the thing is, Tim Burton's even criticised this movie. I can't remember specifically what he said. It was after it came out. I think it was when he was doing press for Beetlejuice 2 last year. He kind of said this kind of not killed his love for filmmaking, but made him question if he ever wanted to make movies again.
Anyway, Aladdin. I I okay. I want to start off with I love the original. I think Jasmine was like my favorite princess. Okay, my favorite princess was Sleeping Beauty, right? Number one. Number two is a tie between Jasmine and Belle, right? Because I love to read. I kind of just felt empty
Hmm.
watching this film. Like I was like, oh yeah, and I was like, mm. I don't know. Aladdin was like so much more like charismatic in the original, and then I just was like, uh, that's how I felt. I just felt,
Nothing.
yeah. I
I
was
wasn't
like,
even like, oh, this is bad, this is good. Just
yeah,
nothing.
like I think it was good. I just it wasn't what I wanted,
I can't
right?
lie.
Like
I love this movie.
you love it.
I love
Okay.
it.
Have you seen the original?
It's the same case with Beauty and the Beast. I hadn't when it came out, but I have now.
Okay, okay.
Um, but I have rewatched bits of this since it. Oh wait, no, that's a lie. Actually, I watched Aladdin like less than a week before seeing the remake. No, I must have got it mixed up with Beauty and the Beast then. No, I did see it.
Mm.
And it's they're different. I think they're actually
They're
hard to
very.
compare.
That's what I mean. They're so different that I don't hate it, and I think
Mm,
it's a good film, right? But I also don't feel like the film's there. I'm like,
yeah. I mean, it definitely doesn't feel like a Guy Ritchie movie. Like, even as someone who loves it, I can say Guy Ritchie definitely had some restraint here.
yeah, that's all I have. I just go,
I
like,
love, like, obviously he's not Robin Williams, and he's not
no.
trying to be, but I loved Will Smith as the genie. I thought he did a great job.
You know what? I don't hate him. You're gonna be surprised. I actually thought he was fine.
I think he didn't try to imitate Robin Williams, and that was my big worry going in. But it like especially like I hated the trailers for this movie. I was not excited for this movie at all. So again, going back to Cinderella, maybe like my how surprised I was by it kind of impacted my enjoyment in a positive way. But I have seen it twice, and like it was just as good the second time.
Okay, this one over to you. The Lion
Thank you.
King.
The third 2019 Disney remake.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, animals talking, and
Uh,
I had no desire to see this film. I have no desire to see the musical, like, and I love the original. Right, my mum talks about it. I this and Finding Nemo is all I watched as a kid. I have nothing. I have no. I'm never gonna watch it. There's nothing in me that says, yeah, I want. Like, no, I'd rather just watch a documentary. Actually, and
yeah.
have David Attenborough talk to me. Is
I
my opinion.
look the original Lion King is my favorite Disney movie. I think it's a masterpiece. Um, I was actually very excited for this because Jon Favreau did such a good job with the Jungle Book. This movie's shit. I from a visual standpoint, like it's like what they did is masterful. It's revolutionary, right? But here's one of the well, here there's a number of big issues with it. Firstly, they just didn't add anything to the source material of interest. It it wasn't shot for shot, but because they added so little, it felt shot for shot. Um, and here's the big issue with the animation style, right? Because they have people voicing the characters that like there's emotion in their voice, but because they're going for such a photorealistic version of these characters, like lions don't really emote in real life, right? They take that approach here, so like you're hearing like emotion coming out of these voices, but it's like this deadpan, like look almost. It's very very jarring, and it just
That's what I mean. That's what I saw in like the things, and that's why I was like, no, I'm not gonna watch it. So you didn't like it?
no, I was extremely disappointed. The like one of the big improvements they made with Mufasa, the prequel, was that like they actually made the faces more cartoonish so they could emote more. So like even on like Mufasa is a better movie just for that alone. But that's not a remake of anything, so that doesn't really count here.
Mulan. I love it. I love it. The original. I have seen this. I put no. I have seen this. I remember it visually now. I can see it. And I love. Okay. I was most worried about the dragon. That was my biggest concern because, like I said, I don't like animals talking, and I was really concerned how they were gonna do it. I loved dragon in this. I thought it was witty. I was like, yeah, this is the. I liked it. What's
I this is one is really interesting because out of all the Disney remakes, I think this is the most different from the original. They really took a big swing in making this almost like a war movie. Like
yes?
they went properly gritty at times with this, which I did not expect.
I don't. But I feel like the original is very much a war movie. Like she's going to war in the first one. Like she's leaving behind her parents and her like dad can barely move and walk, right?
Yeah, but even like
And
in terms of like action, the action sequences feel like war action sequences.
yes, I think we also have to like remember, right? It was like it is a war they are talking about.
Uh-huh.
And I think if they glossed over it, I don't know
Yeah.
if it would be the same. Yeah, I would let my brother watch it. My 14-year-old brother. I probably wouldn't let my younger brother watch it.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's glamorizing war, so I think I'm okay with it.
No. Yeah, I thought this movie was fine. It's not as good as the original, but I can really respect that they really tried to make it different from the original. Like that, like I even think this is the first remake where the original was a musical, and then they just completely wiped that element from this.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember any of the musical songs from the original.
What,
Like
you don't
the
remember "I'll Make a Man Out of You"?
oh, when she's doing like the climbing bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it was not impressive to me.
oh, that's one of the best Disney songs.
Is it the best one to you? I think it was good, but
It's one of them.
I loved the movie as a kid. But I kind of forget it's a musical.
Yeah, to be
I
fair,
don't
there are only like 3 musical numbers there.
Pinocchio.
Yeah, let's just quickly. Yeah,
We haven't watched it.
this was Robert Zemeckis. People hated this one. It did not get good reviews, which is why I didn't bother. To be honest, I was intrigued initially. Robert Zemeckis, Tom Hanks, but yeah, no, this was not well received. So let's skip on to Peter Pan and Wendy. This also was not. It was well received by critics, but audiences hated it.
I didn't hear about it. And
Really?
I love Peter Pan. I am like the number one Peter Pan fan. I love the novel. I love the animation. I think Peter Pan is like so important because I don't know if you know about it, but anything that's made from Peter Pan that includes royalties from the book and from any film made from it goes to the children's hospital.
Oh,
Like
okay.
because that's what he wrote in his contract,
Oh,
like in his will. If it
okay.
gets sold to anything, it all go like part
I
of the
did not know
royalties
that.
all go to charity. Like that's a big part of it. The author lived a really sad life, and he watched all his like siblings die in the hospital, which is what Peter Pan is kind of about. So I didn't hear anything about this film, and I love Peter Pan.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna say it probably wasn't marketed very well. If someone
No,
who
it
watches
wasn't.
a lot of film, never even heard of it.
Yeah, no, and even so, like, not many people saw it at all. I don't even think this has 100K on Letterboxd.
Yeah,
like
that's
for
what
a
I'm saying.
Disney film.
And I have Disney Plus. I didn't see it once on my
Mm.
Disney Plus.
I mean, the film, it's okay. It's again like Mulan. It definitely takes some big swings and some big departures from the original.
with that being said, there's been so many Peter Pan remakes, and they always do a
Yeah.
different. And I think that is part of taking Peter Pan, is that
Uh-huh.
you make it your own.
Yeah.
So, but I can't defend it if I haven't seen it. But I'm defending Peter Pan, okay? The integrity. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, there's just not a lot to say on this one. It was, yeah, it was fine. I don't think it deserved the hate it got. Yeah, there's not a ton to say on this one, to be honest. So let's move on to The Little Mermaid.
Okay, the biggest overreaction I've ever seen in people in the world, except for the seagull. Oh my god, I could have quit. I have never felt, and I don't live there anymore. I grew up around seagulls. I grew up with seagulls stealing everything from me. And then they would drop it on the floor and not even eat it. I have never felt such rage, such jarring emotion to a seagull in my entire life than I have in this film. The rest of it was fine. Actually, no, the father. Oh, the father got my nerves as well. I'm not sure who didn't get on my nerves actually in this film. Her. She was the only person. The rest all got on my nerves.
I'm gonna say something controversial. I think this is better than the original.
You did not just say
The original's fine. Yeah.
Fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
The music's great.
It's a cinematic masterpiece in animation. Okay, there has never been better music, better scenes. Fine. She loses everything. Fine.
I
And
really
you
enjoyed
can
this
feel
movie.
it. I can feel that it's underwater. It being underwater in the live was really weird. And then there was the dad, right? The dad in the original gets really angry, right? He tries to get angry in this one, and I just don't think it's in the acting.
I will say one of my
doesn't have
issues.
that father anger in him.
One of my issues with this movie is that I thought Javier Bardem was miscast as the dad.
Yeah, there was nothing there.
No.
Right, that's the big part of the original is how angry he gets, right? And how much he feels betrayed by his own daughter, that she would go and want to be friends with the people that killed her mother, right? He doesn't know who she is. I'm not convinced. I don't feel the disappointment, the anger, the betrayal, the almost treason of it all. I feel nothing.
I mean, I'll preface this by saying I really like the director, Rob Marshall, so I was expecting to like this movie. But yeah, I just thought Halle Bailey was great.
I think she's great.
I thought the chemistry, I really believed in the chemistry. I thought the new songs were great. Lin-Manuel Miranda did the new songs for this. I think he did a really good job on those. I thought the CGI, underwater stuff, was really well done. Yeah, I just thought this was really solid.
Please tell me, did the seagull annoy you?
At times, yes. I think especially her song. That's an interesting one. The song she has. But it's made up for by Daveed Diggs as Sebastian. I thought he was fantastic.
Oh, fantastic, phenomenal. Okay, so obviously the reason why we're here today is Snow White was just released. This weekend. Lord, do I know it because I was there.
Was it busy?
Time. No, it was.
I'm not surprised.
It was just not for Snow White.
More people going to see Marching Powder. Let's go.
Yeah, people were over seeing March Power. There was Black Bag out. There was one of
people
those
are
days.
Still seeing Bridget Jones. That's still popular.
Everyone loves Bridget Jones.
That's been out for over a month.
It did better than in my opinion, what I've seen. Obviously, box office will probably tell me differently. Bridget Jones did better than Captain America. We sold all of it. The seats were always packed.
Yeah.
Snow White, I could tell because it was always the kids.
Yeah, there's been so much said about this movie. We kind of covered it a bit last week.
I have seen some of it. But that's just because I work there.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it because the parts I did see, I was not feeling it. I haven't seen it, so what do you think? Other than the hair.
I liked it. It's Not one of the best remakes. It's not one of the worst. It's got some real highlights. Rachel Zegler is incredible. I don't care like about any of the controversy. Like she is amazing. Like her voice is angelic. She gives an amazing performance as Snow White. Um, she was amazing. I thought the songs, because the original has some songs, not many. They reworked some of the songs from the original, but then they also added new ones. I thought the songs were done really well. I thought Mark Webb directed this. I thought it was well directed. And my favorite part of this movie was the second act. That's where it mostly focuses on the dwarfs, and the romance comes into play. They update the romance in this one, so it's not just a prince comes to see Snow White in the beginning and comes to see her at the end. The love interest character is an actual character in this one. There's really good chemistry between Rachel Zegler and the guy. I think his name is Andrew Burnap, who plays the love interest character. There's really good chemistry there. So there's a lot I really enjoyed. It looks amazing visually. There's a lot I really enjoyed, but I don't think it was well set up. It really glosses over the setup, so that can make it really hard to care about certain elements throughout the movie. Gal Gadot, she's interesting. She makes some choices, but ultimately, like I said this in my review, it just feels like she's reading from cue cards the whole time. And
That is just how she acts there.
I think
So,
the main thing is I never found her threatening.
yeah, but that's the entire point of that evil queen.
Actually, I will say she was better as the old woman than the actual evil queen. I actually thought she did an okay job as the old woman, but the old woman is in this less than she is in the original, and that's saying something considering this film has a longer runtime than the original. But yeah, Gal Gadot is not great. Yeah, this film is a mixed bag, but overall, I think the positives stand out a bit more than the negatives. And when it ended, I left the cinema with a bit of a smile on my face. I can't lie. It does leave you feeling good. I think there are a lot of kids that will enjoy this movie. And I can see some people coming out with it saying it is their favorite Disney remake. The highlights in this film, I could see like people really like taking it to the next level and loving those things.
So would you recommend it?
I would say give it a shot. Just
Okay.
there are so many people talking about this movie who haven't even seen it. So I would say give it a shot. Just at least say you've seen it. If you're gonna talk about it, like at least judge the movie for the movie, not anything surrounding it. Like I have criticisms with this movie, but I have criticisms of the movie, not anything.
Not,
I'm not
I
even
can't
getting into
open.
any of
I
it.
can't open a TikTok comment section.
No,
As soon as there's Snow White, I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not looking at it. The bigger issues in the film
yeah,
around the cast than her. She's not. I mean, Rachel, not my problem. She's not my problem. The other one, maybe a little bit. I don't care. Right? There's so many good actresses, and I know them. I've seen good actresses. Give them a shot. And also, like, this is like an older woman role, right?
mm.
Those older women in Hollywood, they
I
want good roles. Why are they
I
not
saw
giving them?
someone fan cast the Evil Queen over Gal Gadot, and I really wish it happened. Hannah Waddingham
Mm.
or Catherine Hahn even. Actually, no, she'll probably be better as in Tangled.
Are they doing live Tangled?
Yep, I'm actually kind of starting to get excited for the live action Tangled. It's being directed by Michael Gracie, he directed Great Showman, he directed Better Man. Talking about remaking Frozen, they're doing Moana as well. Like they've shot Moana.
Wait, what?
Yeah, or
But
at least they're shooting Moana.
but that animation only came out like a few years ago.
Yeah, it didn't even come out 10 years ago. By the time this remake comes out, I think Moana will just be 10 years old.
Okay, now you've just made me feel really old because I was thinking, yeah, that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, no, next year Moana's 10 years old. I don't like that.
I need to sit down. I'm sat, but I need to sit down.
We're getting old,
10
Skye.
years. We're really old.
I know.
We're really old, Billy. When did we
Yep.
get this age? That's been
Yeah.
us. I'm Skye Williamson, and
I'm Billy Hells.
you can find us on Film School Rejects on Twitter, not Twitter, on
Not
Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify
YouTube
if you're listening
as well.
right now, or YouTube if you're watching us.
Depending on who's listening to.
We don't know what you're. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, that's it from us, and goodbye.
Bye.